I would little bit introduce Ayurveda and then about the body constitutions. Like we all have our own individual characteristics. So Ayurveda defines the body constitution as Prakriti, the term of Prakriti, and the doshas, the three types of energies, you can broadly say, and Dinacharya and Ritucharya, that is daily regimens and seasonal regimen. Dinacharya means daily regimens, and Ritucharya means the seasonal regimen. And then, what is the idea behind the Ayurvedic diet and nutrition? What are the principles of Ayurvedic diet and nutrition? How we give the based on what we give the diet and nutrition advices, and little bit about Ayurvedic lifestyle and Ayurvedic therapies. What are there in Ayurveda? So, defining Ayurveda, Ayur means life and Veda means knowledge. So, in short, we can say the science of life. It's about the any kind of life. It can be there is a kind of all knowledge system about the any living being, you can say. And the principles of Ayurveda is applicable to all the kind of living beings. So we try to learn about this the herbs. We want to learn about the various animals and how to treat them, and obviously the human beings as well. So it's a very old traditional system from India, and it gives more emphasis for prevention. And that is one reason why now it is having more popularity, because during this hectic lifestyle, everybody has some kind of challenges in their health due to various hectic times with the stress and lifestyle changes. We all get some kind of issues time to time with the health. So going back to the basics and sticking on to the natural way of maintaining our self rhythm is the way to health. So because Ayurveda defines the health as a state of give and take between the inner world and outer world, because this give and take is constant, and this has to be in a kind of balanced state. So not too much, not too less. Modern world says to always to us to have more is very good. If you exercise, you need to be very intense. If you work, you need to be intense. So whereas something Ayurveda, the term Ayurveda always says is about balancing. So this word of balancing is quite important in Ayurveda, and balance of mind, body, and soul. So as you know, it's something called holistic science. Holistic means it has an approach, not just into what we just see through our eyes. There is something which deals with the things about our mind and also our spirit, our energies, you can say, which we cannot just see, but we can appreciate it. Whereas we could achieve it through a healthy diet and lifestyle as well. So these are the way how the health is being how you say defined in Ayurveda. Most of the time we have always the concepts numbered in 3, 5, or 7. So this 3 is also another interesting number for Ayurveda. Like I said about some specific words we learn, that balancing and the number of 3. That is again mind, body, soul. And then when we go about next, when before we talk about the Prakriti, also we need to know about the elements. The basic principle that we are connected to nature comes from the theory of elements, because we can see the different types of elements are present in the environment. The same elements are making our body as well. So how the elements are arranged in the environment we could see, and how the elements are arranged in our body we could see. So in the external world, or in the nature, We could see the space which is containing all the substances. That is the first elements among the five big elements which Ayurveda talks about. It's called as Pancha Mahabhutas. Mahabhutas, that is five great elements. So then into this space comes the air, and air is that which you can say the gaseous state of matter. Whatever elements are in gaseous state, we could consider um, under the heading of air. And fire, that is that which is in kind of a capacity in a form of thermal energy and having a possessing a capacity to transform the matter. That is thermodynamic changes which is happening in the environment. And then is water. So whatever we know that in our earth, for example, is covered with water. So fluid state of the maximum space in the earth is covered by water. And this fluid state of matter is we are considering as the great element of water. And then it is the fourth one is earth. Earth is more or less the solid substances, which is more in a kind of solid state, you can say. The substances, elements which are in solid state. It is building more of hard substances around us. And either the space I told you, the space and either is the same element. So these are the five basic elements we see in the world. So when we apply these elements into our body, also we have the same principle, same things we can appreciate in our body. For example, the space element. Space element is present in our body as well. For example, inside our lungs there is space, which is into which the air flows inside. And respiratory system, respiratory exchanges, the gaseous exchanges is an example of air element. In our body, water, fire is present, which is doing all the kind of transformations, like different types of food, the food which we eat, or the kind of different types of nutritional substances we eat. They are getting transformed inside our digestive system with the help of enzymes and it gets transported into the cells or even in the liver. Different types of enzymes act on it, and inside the cells also there is a cellular metabolism happening. It's called metabolism. So the digestion and metabolism comes under the activity of fire element. And water, we know the body is also the most part of the body is water. It is composed of water. Every cell has great composition, with larger composition is from water element. Earth, definitely the all hard elements or the organs in our body you can correlate to the earth element. The bones, hard structures, cartilages, anything which is more hard and structural. This is more earth element. So these we can also appreciate in the body, in the structure. And when it combines together, it becomes three life forces and energies. So why we can see the anatomy with the help of five elements. But when anatomy means the structures, body has different structures, like I said, but it has to start animating, it has to start moving, it has to start functioning. This is called physiology, the movement, the activities. So these five elements will start moving, animating in the form of three energies. That is where the concept of dosha comes in. Dosha. So dosha, the word dosha, it is something that you can say the translation as that which can get vitiated. Vitiated means which can get disbalanced. The word itself means if you don't properly manage your diet and lifestyle, or your inner balance and with the external world, you can get doshas get vitiated. So this vitiating substances which can vitiate themselves and also vitiate other substances in the body, other elements in the body is called as doshas. But when they are in a balanced state, it supports the body, and when it is in an imbalanced state, it creates a disease. So they are three in number. Again, the number of three, which I told you. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. They are these three. So if you look at the each one, Vata is basically air element plus space element, air element and space element. So it this energy force or the kind of principle of physiology, it corresponds to all the kind of movement, mobility, biological movements, all the kind of cellular, intercellular movements or extracellular movements, any movements, like even when we our musculoskeletal system, when we walk, when we talk, our lungs contract and leave. And also this is connected with also the vital force that is called prana. Prana is nothing but you can compare it even to the very vital essence of breathe. You can say oxygen. So how vital is oxygen? Without oxygen, some percentage of oxygen, if it is not, if it goes down, then our cells will die off. So it is called as prana because it is very necessary to maintain the maintain our life. And yes, all the kind of processes which is connected to maintenance of essential maintenance of life, that can be termed under the word of prana. And see, all these doshas we appreciate based on its qualities. So qualities are nothing but when we feel with our five sense organs. Five sense organs means our touch, hearing, smelling, tasting, and seeing, all these five. So all the five sense organs, we appreciate these qualities. So you can see when it is vata, when it is air and space element more present, you could feel dry, light, cold, subtle. That means minute. It has minute properties and more mobility, and dispersing nature. And this you can also appreciate in a person when it is in a balanced state. Sorry, the person, it reflects in a person's personality, in a person's behavior, in a kind of a form of creativity, flexibility, freshness, lightness, happiness, joyfulness, and bubbly behavior, you can say. When it is out of balance, we can appreciate it. The person becomes nervous, anxious, restless. He may have he or she may have tremors, spasm, constipation, bloatedness, because these qualities you can appreciate in each of them. For example, not able to be grounded, very light and not able to be grounded, it will create more of anxiety. Or too much dryness of the intestines will create dry skin. Sorry, intestines will create constipation or dryness of the skin, you can see. The lightness and lightness may cause more of brittleness. Or when it is, the muscles can create spasm, anemia, arthritis, arthritis in the joints. So it may be because of the dryness inside the joint as well, when the fluid inside the joint become dry. So it's when it is out of balance you can appreciate. I'm trying to give you just few examples so that you could relate it, but it is not it's not the complete. There is a lot to as well to learn as well, or more to it. The second dosha, that's called as Pitta, that is the principle of fire which is in a liquefied form, fire plus water, I would say. So this you will appreciate in the form of enzymes, hormones, enzymes which is in acids and there is or acids. They are in liquid form, right? And also the hormones get secreted into the blood and it gets circulated as well. So it's moving and flowing. That water element is also flowing, making it flow as well. So energy of heating, transformation, biochemical changes, metabolism, you could relate this to. And you will appreciate the properties of hotness, sharpness, oiliness, and lightness, and pungent, the spicy kind of character with the acids, you can say, sourness and spreading. These are the qualities which can be appreciated. You could think about the acids which is having similar properties, for example, or some kind of vinegars or such kind of sharp substances. But we have these enzymes which is able to break down the substances easily, digest the substances easily. They have similar properties. When it is in balanced state, in a balanced state in a person, you could appreciate it in their behaviors. Like these people will be more very intelligent, courageous, confident, decisive, very sharp in their characteristics. They will have very good, clear judgment and decisiveness. But still, they will be very friendly, very easy to process the information, crucial in learning. They will be very good leaders as well, because they have the fire inside them which can lead them to clarity and go beyond go beyond. When it is out of balance, or if it is too much, and then it will reflect in our in a person's characters. Like it will increase the too much anger, or hatred, criticism, jealousy, skin. It can also reflect in skin problems, hypertension, nausea, heartburn. So these properties like hot, sharp, oily, light, these properties will reflect on the every part. For example, heartburn, or it will be because of too much of acids, for example, or many times this, many times the mental um, emotions or mental characteristics also triggers the dosha, because we know that mind and body has a lot of give and take. So if you are too much angry, then you will be too much hungry also. So that is because the mind is also connected with the body, and you will get more enzymes. So yeah, or opposite, when these people are not have not eaten, they will be more angry. So it is better to give them food and they will be calm. Yes. Or now we will talk about the kapha. That is the third element, third dosha. So what are the elements present in them are water and earth element. So it is the most heaviest you can imagine, water and earth. Like building blocks. If you want to build the blocks, you mix the cement and things in the water so that the adhesive, the bonding happens between them, between the particles. So it's like a building block for us. So it forms the body structure. It causes the gluing effect of the cells, and it is also controlling a lot of lubrication, also the fluid matter, and also it is connected with the stability of the body. In a way, it also reflects in the stability of the cells, indestructibility of the cells, and thus you can also correlate to immune system. Yes. What are the properties in these doshas? Heaviness, slowness, coldness, oiliness, dampness, smoothness, static characteristics, viscous and sweet properties. So these qualities you can also appreciate in kapha, and it can reflect in the person, So the person who is Kapha, he may be more calm because of the heavy characteristics. He may be also he can be a little bit putting on weight. He will be more stable because he is very slow in acting. He is more soft in characteristics, forgiveness, kindness, generousness, very peaceful. These are mental attributes. They can be also physically saying they may be having a very stable body type and more stable built, more toned and very at the same time flexible body built. When it is out of balance, you can appreciate this dosha having more attachment, greediness, depression, lust, or envy, obesity. This is physically so because the heavy property or too much damp property, static characteristics, this reflects in having the problems of obesity, allergies, because there is a kind of chances to get obstructions in their static state in their channels. There may be kind of inflammatory responses because the toxins doesn't get moved out, for example. Sinus issues, this is the same, the static characteristic, the blocked channels, or even too much of mucus. This causes the sinus issues or mucus edema because there is a more chances of osmoregulation, that water will be more collected inside the cells. They have the ability to retain more water in the body, these type of people. And congestion, like I explained you, these properties you could correlate with every characteristics, because these all the properties will reflect in characteristics. This is how we deal with this. So yes, so we talked about doshas to understand the body type of the individual. um, Basically about vata, the same things we apply here. The dry properties will result in skin which is dry hair, lips which are dry, voice which is more not so soft, more cracked voice, and also dryness of colon and intestines, which will create constipation, for example. Lightness, the muscles will not be so much thick, it will be very lean muscle mass. Bones will be more light, joints will be light, maybe very thin joints, thin body frame, and sleep is also very light. They cannot have a deep sleep. The depth of the sleep is they are very quickly aroused. If you hear some small sound, they will get up. Sorry. Also, cold hands and feet because of cold characteristic. They have a poor blood circulation, means more towards the hands and legs. They feel more cold towards the periphery. Stiffness of the muscles happens. Um, Cramps, you can say, and roughness. It will create more cracking of the skin, cracking of the joints, nails, brittleness. That is also teeth and hands, feet, etc. Irregularity will reflect also in their bones, spine, teeth, appetite. They will have very good appetite sometime, very poor appetite sometime. Sometimes they have very good digestion, and then one day they will eat a lot, and then they will digest it. Next day they may not digest it. It's because the fire which is being kindled by the air. You know that if the air is too much, the fire goes away. The fire which cooks the food, for example, in our digestive system also the same thing happens. If the fire is moderate and in a proper way, the air will be in a proper way, the fire uh, will be also working properly. So because of the irregularities of the air, these people may have more irregularity with the digestive system. The mind also is the same. Menstrual cycle, very much irregular or painful as well sometimes, many times. Mobility of the mind, thoughts, forgetfulness. They jump into things, many things quite quickly. They are very good multitasking people, but they also can forget many things very quickly. They are very good beginners, but consistency is sometimes very less. Mood swings happens a lot with them. Movements are very fast and also irregular. Irregular walking. They may be their steps may not be so regular as well. So very simple thing, how to balance vata. Some straightforward terms, things we are saying. More eat warm, oily, and spice, moderate amount of spices, not too strong as well. It will help to keep the fight against the coldness and dryness, and also will help to improve the digestive system because of the irregularity of the fire. Then enjoy warm drinks and keep the body warm. This is against the cold properties. Regular daily routine. This is very important. Um, Keep a structure in your day. This is most important for Vata people because this the our life has mostly has these days Vata. We get Vata problems because of the irregularities in our life. Irregularity with the job or irregularity with the life routine, the daily routine, irregularity with the circumstances, irregularity with the family circumstances or relationships, anything and everything you can say. Job, I told, yes. So, but still, whatever things can be put into um, routines and also into a structure will help you to ground yourself. So whether you are in a Sunday or whether it is a Sunday or if it is a working day, get up in the same time. This is something you can say keeps the circadian rhythm going very well. So for Vata balancing, this is very golden rule. Keep your mind calm and peaceful. Practice yoga, pranayama, meditation, and also to focus and to become grounded. So grounding practices, pranayama, meditation, these all things mostly you know, but making a bridge between them more to ground yourself. That is why Vata it is important. For Vata it is important. Raw eating, cold eating, bloating foods. So examples like too much of smoothies these days, like uncooked vegetables. This is something opposite to Vata because the fibers are not so soft. It creates more dryness again in the intestines because it needs more water. So cold food again creates a spasm, promotes these coldness of Vata again. Bloating food, too much of junk food or processed food, white flour or processed meat, etc. Cold beverages, again cold property, exposed to cold and windy weather, too much of windy climates, and also the irregularity of the climate also result in Vata aggravation. Irregularity with your lifestyle, the daily life, the same way. Circles of negative thoughts. This is like more or less like regurgitating the thought again and again once you don't get settled with your thoughts. This is very tiring for the mind, the most tiring for the mind. We call it as the person who is too much thinking. They become tired more than people who physically push a how do you say big rock towards the mountain towards the up above the mountain. So so it is more tough. So not let your negative thoughts to linger around. So you should resolve it as much as possible early. We will discuss about the third dosha, the second dosha, Pitta. The hot characteristics that is in their digestive fire. They have very good digestion, appetite, body temperature, good temper, body heat. They are very sensitive to hot weather. They cannot stand the very hot weathers. Heavy bleeding during the periods, hot and burning sensation while passing the stools. They often have early graying and early baldness. This is a typical Pitta people. So understanding a person's individual proper body type will help us to lead to better understand a person's characteristics. For example, to say it's not it is not your mistake, it's your Pitta's mistake, you can say. Or even you can prevent many things. People who has Pitta, like I said, you could give them the food in time so that they they don't get increase in Pitta. So that's the way. So the another one big principle, like the philosophy behind, is the like properties will increase the like properties, the same properties will increase the same property. That is the principle of Ayurveda. If you have heat, again, if you heat, the heat will increase, so Pitta will increase. Whereas you give cooling properties in the food, instead of opposite to the hot properties, it will get balanced. So, but not to overdo it. So that's where again the principle of moderation comes. Okay. The sharpness in the teeth, in the eyes, pointed nose, heart-shaped face, sharp memory of and understanding. They have very sharp borders of the structures, and also, yeah, sharp memory and understanding, very clear. Competitive as well. They are more. They are the people who likes to get competitive. Yes. Oily characteristics, it will reflect also in skin, hair, and facies, soft stools. Liquid characteristics reflects in the loose liquid stools and also soft, delicate muscles. Many times it also reflects in excess urination and sweating, thirst. These are people who has really very high amount of sweat. They sweat fast. This is, I'm saying about the balanced state. There can be conditions where they get sweat too much because of, for example, obese people also get too much sweat. So this is different. And thirst, they are naturally more thirsty. Spreading characters, this result in many times spreading of inflammations. If they have very small amount of inflammation in one place, it can get spread like a wildfire. In them, these inflammatory problems are very high. For example, some kind of a small inflammation will lead to autoimmune problems, or too much stress, too much of stress hormones result in inflammation, and that results in autoimmune problems. For example, autoimmune thyroiditis or something like that. It also reflects in skin, yes, because the skin is very, according to Ayurveda, skin is very close to the changes in the blood, very sensitive to the changes in the characteristics of the blood. We call it as tissue, blood as a tissue, but still it also has a seat, or it acts as a seat of Pitta. So Pitta is a lot present in the blood. So when there is a heat in the blood, it reflects in the skin. Sour characteristic reflects in the sour acid, stomach acids and reflexes. Bitterness. There are people who wakes up with a taste of bitter taste in the mouth. This is normally, this is if it is their body type, it is more of a characteristic of Pitta. Or as it is, if it is a disbalance, then it is also a characteristic of Pitta disbalance. Nausea, vomiting, repulsion, pungent taste, it results in burning sensations, easily irritated and angry. So these too much pungent characteristics. We should not give them more pungent taste as well to take, because it will increase their Pitta. How to balance? So the same thing, we comes to the opposite qualities. Eat more cooling, sweet food, Sweet doesn't mean that anything with sugars. It's more about the natural sweets, natural fruits and vegetable, whatever, or grains, which has also natural sweet, milk, for example. Um, some people have also milk intolerances, and I'm not talking generally. I'm saying to keep more about the ghee. For Pitta people, the best is ghee. That is called as clarified butter. This is something very good, cooling as well for sweet. That is also sweet as well. Exercise in regular timings when temperature drops, obviously to reduce the heat, overheating. Limit in salt intake, because salt also is very much kindling the fire, increasing the fire. So it should be limited. Keep your mind calm, stay away from too much competitive thoughts, too much running around, too much rat race, not running around. Yes, focus on cooling yogasanas, sun soft flows in yoga, moon salutation, and also moderate workouts. Avoid opposite. What to avoid? Avoid spicy, pungent, and salty food, fatty, fried food, too much oiliness. This is also not good. At the same time, fried things also is again dehydrating, and also makes the body again dried up and heated up. Avoid excessive heat, alcohol, stimulant substances. Stimulating substances overdoing will also result in Vata aggravation and also Pitta aggravation. Avoid competitions, too much frustrations and jealousy. Avoid strenuous workouts, excessive exercising, etc. Yeah. Now a bit about the Kapha people, what they can expect. Because of their heavy properties of Kapha, they will have more heavier bones, muscles, large body frame. They will be slow to move, talk, and digestion will be also slow. They will be more like lying down than moving. We need to push them out of the couch to move. The same with digestion as well. You need to stimulate their digestion, or metabolism is also slow. They tend to retain the things rather than let go things. It's in their metabolism, also in their mind as well, I think. um, Oiliness, coolness, cold skin, repeated colds and congestions and cough. This cool characteristic is different from Vata. Vata is more or less, this is irregular air element kind of a cold. This is whereas Kapha people has coolness from the water element. So this temperature, this is different. This is little more stable kind of a cold, and it has a more congestion as well, congestive kind of characteristics. Then is oiliness that reflects in skin, hair, fishes, or unctuousness and well lubricated joints. They are more oily than Pitta people. Pitta people also are oily, but this one is more oilier than them. So, but they have more, you can say, oily character. This will result more in the not too much oozing out. Then they may have subcutaneous fats and all that kind of substance that more dense. That is what another thing coming up. Many of these properties are interconnected. So oily, that is more fat kind of things, which is in a dense form. Dense form forms the thick pad of fat below the skin for them. So many of the properties are interlinked. More than one property will be there at forming one characteristic in every individual dosha. Thick skin, hair, nails, fishes, rounded and smooth organs. Static characteristics, they allow, like I said, sitting, sleeping, being lazy, stable in mind. They don't change their thoughts every moment. They once they start, they are more stable, and they have more stability about things. Next is viscosity, that is more stickiness. They have more attachments and emotions of love, etc. They are very attached. They are very much of people who can get attachments. Mm, and sweet, craving for sweets. They are very kind and soft and caring and compassionate. Um, they are more sweet lovers, of course. They have sweet too. How to balance? Uh, you need to focus on more of a little bit of challenging physical exercises so that you don't lie down in the couch itself. Keep being active. Eat more light and little bit of drying food. So for them, maybe more fibrous food. At the same time, we are not recommending still too much of smoothies still, but still salads during lunchtime is also good for them. And more vegetables, obviously more fibers. That can be something. Be cautious with dairy products because they can create more congestion. Vary your daily routine, keeping that routines a little more flexible, not resisting the change. Because Kapha people may have a kind of resistance to the heat, sorry, the changes. So so keeping their activities more flexible. At the same time, keeping a rhythm is very important for any body type. That is important. Focus on astringent, bitter, and pungent tastes. These are opposite to properties of kapha. So that's why more astringent food and bitter food and pungent tastes are important. Energizing activities like yoga, asanas, flows, twists, chest openers, and back bends, etc. More to keep them agile. Do not oversleep. Do not what not to do. Avoid. Do not oversleep during the daytime. Do not oversleep even at night. Day sleep is contraindicated more for kapha people. Avoid heavy, fatty, and dried food. Avoid iced foods and drinks. Too much of too much of steadiness, too much groundedness is not so good. They need to be agile and flexible to the changes. Avoid sweet and salty and sour food. A little bit about the Dinacharya and Ritucharya, and then we will conclude probably. Optimal health of the body and mind is achieved to daily regimen and seasonal regimens. So basically, this comes from the uh, flow of harmony of nature, like adjusting to the harmony of nature. In the nature, there are changes happening in the form of elements. So in different seasons, for example, different things are happening. Different part of the time of the day, we have different dosha changes or elements are changing. For example, in the morning hours, you will appreciate more. The environment is more cold, more dull, or rather slow, more cold, more moisture, damp. These properties are more, and we also feel this body is more heavier and a little bit difficult to move as well. Like start, it is you need a little bit of push. So this is more corresponding to the kapha characteristics. So the first one third of the dosha, sorry, one third of the day is corresponding to kapha dosha. The second one third is more of bright sunlight and hot heating up. The temperature is rising up to the midday or up to 2 o'clock, you can say, approximately. So that corresponds to characteristics of pitta. We feel more appetite also during midday. This is corresponding to pitta time. And the third one third is corresponding to vata time. You feel more mobility and more lightness and more flexibility, a little bit more fast mind and non-grounded feeling towards the end part of the day. It is the same in the more drier environment, more dry characteristic in the nature towards the one third of the day. And again, after the evening, like 6 p.m., the again the characteristic of kapha comes back. The same at night, and the early morning is about the Vata. So based on this principle, we designed a kind of daily regimen, which is more conductive for our health. This can be also reflected to the dosha changes you can also appreciate in the climates as well. When you see the summer, it's more of hot climate, Pitta predominant. And when it comes to autumn, it's more drying. You can correspond to Vata characteristics. When it comes to winter, in the beginning, you can say a little bit more drying characteristic, but still towards the middle, or even to the deeper time of, sorry, the more colder time, it's more corresponding to Kapha. And in the springtime, it's more kapha because it is more melting. You can see the ice is melting when the sun starts becoming hot. So it starts flowing. Whatever dosha has accumulated in the body, it starts flowing through the channels. So that's maybe the reason why the spring is more kapha season. So based on this doshas, the different types of activities to balance the dosha is advised in Ayurveda. So just a short uh, arrangement, example of short arrangement of a day, how it will look like. It's a daily regimen, how it can be looked like in Ayurvedic terms, in a very concise way. Morning, to wake up by early, by 6 o'clock. First thing is to do to go to toilet, because this is helping you to be prepared for your whatever the gut system to be receiving the food. Like, we need to wash the plates before we eat. So every day in the morning you need to go to toilet before you start eating. So next time, yes, brush your teeth after bowel movement. Then scrape your tongue. There is a tongue scraping thing also available. Splash the water on your face, clean the face as well. Then gargle sesame oil for 5 minutes. You can select the oil which is good for the gargling for the mouth. 1 teaspoon you can put it in the mouth, the oil, sesame oil, 1 teaspoon you can put it in the mouth, and then move inside the mouth. And also you can little bit massage your gums after spitting the oil out. Gentle exercises you can do in the morning, not too strenuous exercises like yoga, pranayama, will help to get more connected with the mind and more mindful, so that you don't get into disturbances during the daytime stresses. Oil massage. This is something unique in Ayurveda, that self oil application. So you need to apply the oil on the head and the feet, these and ears, and also on the palm. These places are very important. You can say for the circulation and the temperature connections and vata in general. And then all body also, a little bit warm oil you can use, and also oil can be based on your body type. Like Pitta people can use coconut oil, Kapha people can use sesame oil, Vata people can use sesame oil. So, and based on that, n number of oils are available. And bath. So after oil application, some time if you can spend waiting, you can apply oil and do a little bit of massage. Then 45 minutes or 1 hour after, take shower. Again, small spiritual practices with it can be also combined with yoga and pranayama, mindful activities, meditation, or whatever you like to do as a spiritual practice. 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours from waking up, have a breakfast, and whatever your daily routine you can start. If you like to have a snack in between, it is something like a fruit or dry fruits and nuts, you can say, between around 10 o'clock. Fresh fruit can be avoided with the breakfast, can be eaten separately from the cooked food. So and for breakfast you can use the dry fruits. During the lunchtime, this can be the heaviest meal of the day. So the most important meal is lunch, and the second important meal is breakfast, and the dinner is the least important. So many times we do it opposite. Dinner, people eat long, sit and eat long time because of social changes and social circumstances. Yes, but for digestion, lunch is the most important meal, and heaviest proteins and salads and grains, cooked vegetables, these things, heaviest food has to be during lunchtime. Better have more if you have proteins in the lunch, have it also during breakfast. Again, 3 o'clock you have fruits. Evening you can have exercises, whatever little bit intense exercises is towards the evening around 5 to 6. Again, early dinner, if you eat, if you can eat even vegan or vegetarian dinner, that would be very good. No meats, ideally in the night, better for easier for digestion and metabolism. Evening, to spend your own time, a little bit of self time, self reading or family interaction or socialization, without too much of phones and stimulations. I would say socialization should not be too much with stimulations like alcohols or too much with phones. At least 1 to 2 hours before going to sleep. If you could avoid this will be better. Preparation for bed at 9. Foot massage with oil. This is helping to sleep better, help you to sleep better. And meditation, and by 10 go to sleep. This is ideal to circadian rhythm. You could also read about the body clock or kind of body rhythm, biorhythm, if you want to read further. This is more connected to the same things which is advised in biorhythm. So like I explained you the kind of weather in different times. Spring is kapha pacifying food you need to follow. During summer you need to follow the pitta pacifying diet, and during autumn it will be vata pacifying diet, or winter kapha and vata pacifying diet you need to follow.